Greetings, this is Silver Black from Silverback Kingdoms. I really hope everybody is doing well today. We are going to talk about mental shift today. To be short, mental shifting, as it is said in the word, mental and shifting. So it is the movement of the mind. So it is when a therian or a otherkin gets into their mindset, animal mindset, or humanoid mindset, or whatever the kin type is. Mental shift can happen by accident or can be triggered or even induced during meditation. Mental shifting into an animal mindset would mean that you do not think in words, you think more with your emotions, energy, and imagery, like visual imagination. For an humanoid or other creature, mental shifting would just mean that you get into your mentality, your kin type mentality. If it is a starseed or if it is an elf, a vampire, it is all the same. What are your desires, interests, way of thinking? Sometimes people with humanoid kin types will think the same way than the way their human think, but they all have traits for each kin type, and these traits come back from one person to another. There's like common traits in other kin types that you can look. To give yourself the best chances to mental shift at all, you need to know your kin type by heart. You need to become an expert of either your animal type or your kin type. How does it think? How does it see the world? What are its main senses? How does it react to the environment? How does it behave in public? Now, why is shift one of the main shifting types, and why is it so important? Mental shifting is basically the most important meditation that you can do as a therian or as an otherkin. It is very important because practicing mental shifting is gonna help you balance your human side and your animal side or kin type, and it's gonna make you happier in a long-term period. But mental shifting is not just to make you happier. If your goal is to physical shift and transform or experience other kind of shifting or meditation related to your kin type, then mental shifting is the simplest and the best and the most efficient way to reach these goals. It is like the basic of shifting. And everyone around, even people who don't believe in physical transformation, do practice indeed mental shifting. For people out there who want to shift into their animal physically or their kin type physically, know that mental shift is vital and you cannot skip it unless you have blood from shapeshifters in your family ancestors. And even then, I really suggest that you do it because it's very the basics of how your animal kin type thinks. And this will help to build your DNA for the physical transformation. If you skip that step, you can become mad. You can even have a psychosis. You can hurt people. You can hurt pets. You can hurt yourself. And these things, you want to avoid that. You can even become obsessed and clinical. Some people who skip mental shifting often have like clinical, what we call clinical lycanthropy, is when someone thinks they physically shift and they don't, which is sad because it's a reality out there. So if you don't want to end up in a mental institution, I really suggest you do not skip mental shift. Physical shifting is very real, but a lot of people do it too fast or just think they are doing it, and can end up indeed in clinical lycanthropy. Before watching the rest of this video, I really suggest that you watch all the risk and consequences and long-term problem and risk that you can have when practicing any type of shifting, especially the mental and the physical shape-shifting. Werewolves are real. This is not a game. Shape-shifting is real. And if you're a kid or a teenager that just want to learn how to become a werewolf because it's cool and because you want to fit somewhere, just go away, okay? This is not a place for you. This is for adults only, people who understand the concept of therianthropy, otherkins that are serious about this thing. So please, if you're one of these kids that don't really know what they're doing, please don't watch this video and just go away. Be mature, okay? No trolling here. What are your shifting goals? Why do you shift in the first place? This will help you to set your goals when you practice mental shifting. What is it you want to achieve in the end? Is it physical shape-shifting? Is it your own happiness and balance with your human versus animal or kin type? Because I repeat, if you're just one of these kids or teenagers that want attention and views and just want to become like a werewolf getting bitten and shit, this is not for you. Go away. Last chance. Shape-shifting is not for everyone. It's scary. It's very scary and has a lot of risk. And it's a life-changing thing. Do not dwell into something you do not know. And if you do so, fetch an adult. Or get someone who knows what they're talking about. Get a teacher. A very serious one. And do not injure people or yourself in the way. I must insist, because a lot of people will watch this video and I cannot control who, I cannot control what they do, and we are not, I repeat, we are not responsible for any action that you will take or your children. So do not come here and blame us for this, because you have the control of your kid's computer. We are not their parents, so please don't. Okay, now that all of this has been said, we can go back to the subject. Now that your goals are set, you are ready, my friend, to start your journey. When you want to start the mental shift practice, you need to know it is very important that you keep the balance, a very healthy balance between you and your kin side, like the human side versus the, for example, animal side or humanoid side. There is a video about the balance, or will be anyway, on our channel, so if you want to watch it, it's gonna be more detailed in that video. If you want to know more about the balance and how to make your kin side happy and you happier in general and more balanced, because the balance is very important. For some people, the animal or kin side will be themselves. They will consider it to be themselves, like not a separate entity, while some other people might think they are other spirits or separated entities. Some people will say we are reincarnated, so this is not me, or this is me. While some others, like me, will say we are two parts of the same soul. For example, I had past lives as a wolf, as a werewolf too, and I've reincarnated into a human, but I still have my soul from my past life. Thing is, this body is already hosting like a new experience as a soul, so you have to merge the two experiences together, and it's a lifetime work. That is what is the balance. You have to be happy and balanced and healthy. If you want to avoid these problems, I talked earlier, the spacey dysphoria, the depression, you know, all of these things you do not wish to have. For mental shifting, it's important that you understand that we live as beings, like souls, energy. We are not created or destroyed, only transformed. So when we change bodies, or when we just move our energy somewhere else, another dimension, another realm, another whatever you want to call it, it is a way to reach your kin type. Like, there are so many dimensions, and your kin type is in one of them. And there's this veil that we talk about in magic and shapeshifting. It is about, it's a thin glass, like it's a thin wall between two dimensions, two gates. It is a wall, something that prevents you to see or feel or reach the other spirit in their own 3D dimension. Because the third dimension in which we live, which is physical, it is one place and one particular time. But in this place, there is a lot of dimensions that reach that place. There is a lot of dimensions around, like billions of them, timelines. You are a being, and in this moment, in this place, you are this being, but you have other versions of yourself at the same time, living in the past, present, and future, all at the same time. Then you living in the present here in this place where you are at the third dimension. It is crazy. So you have lower versions of yourself, you have higher frequency versions of yourself. And it is important to understand for a mental shifting, because if you understand all of this, you might understand that your kin type is just sitting into another dimension, but you can still talk to it telepathically, even if it's you, because it's a different version of you, in you. It's kind of hard to describe. It is you, I admit, but it is not at the same time. And however, if you can talk to it or not in your head, you can still feel its emotions. You can still feel somehow that it's still in another dimension. Otherwise, you would already be mental shifting or physically shifting. You have to work, to meditate, to reach that spirit side of you that is animal or another kin type, and make it flourish, make it grow, make it stronger, making it more strong, powerful, easier to feel, easier to experience. Once you get information about your kin type and practice mental shifting a lot and master it, you'll be able to think differently, having reflexes you did not have before, just being your kin type in general, and you will have reached this entity, this spirit that you will have powered with your energy and practice. And what's going to happen is the more love you give to your kin type self, the more time, the more work, the more power, the more magic, the more whatever you want to give it, it's gonna thin. Like, it's gonna take the wall, this veil, and make it thinner and thinner. And at some point, you will reach the spirit at the same frequency. Mental shifting and physical shifting are different in the sense that when you mental shift, you do not astral project, just like you need to do to physical shift. Mental shifting is just really about making that veil, that invisible wall that blocks you from your kin side, to get thinner and weaker, so you can be your kin side a lot more naturally in your mindset and your mentality, in the way you think, that you see the world and act and react, absolutely react to it, especially for animal kins. We need to talk about the mental shifting for animal kins, which is a lot harder in the sense that animals are way more primitive, have a mindset that is way more primitive. That's why most people black out when they try to mental shift or P-shift. It is because you can inspire yourself, and you have to inspire yourself daily. By example, bringing a picture that reminds you of your kin type, that looks a lot alike. It might be your phone background, it could be a small picture you bring. Also, if you can make yourself a music playlist that remembers you of your kin self or yourself, and something that triggers strong emotions in you in a good way, that will make your kin type, your kin self, more powerful, more present, and open the gate to your kin side, which is in another dimension for now. It doesn't have to be like that all the time. You can open that gate temporarily or permanently if you work hard enough. When you go from her human mind to an animal mind, you get in a more primitive state. And this primitive state is so primal, so filled with instincts, and it is so hard to go from one to another. So I'm very sorry to say, but if you're a therianthrope who needs to mental shift, unless you are born like this and already merged with your kin type and the veil is down and you know that you are your animal and balanced and everything, that you already are it naturally, don't need to M-shift to actually M-shift, that it happens to you naturally, then the other therians that cannot do that, they will have to work harder because this is very primitive mind and it's hard to achieve, but it is not impossible. If you are one of these persons having issues with meditation and falling asleep, do not practice mental shifting that way. Do not just like sit on your bed or sleep on your bed and try to meditate to mental shift. It's not gonna work. You're gonna fall asleep. Also, be very careful if you try to meditate that way by sitting on your back or half sitting, because if your body is stressed out enough and you go to meditate and close your eyes and lunging on your back or half sitting on a wall, it can trigger a sleep paralysis, and gosh, this is very scary and you do not want this. However, if your body is really relaxed, you could astral project by accident, you could lucid or dream shift, you could also black out or fall asleep. These are all possibilities of mental shifting practice outcomes. When you practice mental shifting, whatever, if you dwell into magic practice or not, building a little altar or keeping some decorations that reminds you of your kin type can really help inspire yourself and to connect to your other self quicker. It is just simply making the veil thinner between you and your kin side, and having a gate or a way to connect with them, with this side of you, is a powerful tool. So magic or not, having decorations or an altar, which is just having like a table with statues and object decoration of your kin type representation. Self-induced thought, spoken words, loud, like saying things out loud to yourself, affirmations like spoken affirmation, even drinking a glass of water with the intention that you have in mind, and then drinking the glass of water can help. Another way of enhancing mental shifting practices in general would be to enchant items. Necklaces, bracers, objects in general, enchanting them with the intention and the purpose of what you want to do with them. You can look on Silverback Forum, Silverback official websites in the description if you want to know more about enchanting. I will link the article made by Nico Man on the website, so you can look there. Mental shifting can be achieved in so many ways, in so many places. It can go to simple meditation with eyes closed, or just to be a walk in the wood. It could be working even outside and trying to mental shift in a public manner. Now, just watch your animal behavior so other people don't notice. Just stay low profile, please. Mental shifting can even happen by accident or being induced in a long-term period, and it's like half there all the time and you're just not aware of it. Other ways of enhancing a mental shift practice would be to use other type of shifting practice or energy work. Energy work works a lot. It works fine. Magic can be a way to enhance mental shifting. Subliminal videos, ambiances, like animal ambiances or kin type ambiances, self-hypnosis videos, frequency videos, and all type of videos of energy work, druidic drums. A lot of these videos can help to accompany your mental shifting practices, but it is not a replacement. These are all practices you can do along the mental shifting, like when you have other times in the day and you want to try something more to enhance your mental shifting in general. I suggest subliminals during the night because they induce thoughts in your mind. Even if you cannot understand the words, your brain will take it. It will understand it, and it will go back in the back of your mind, and it will, induce thoughts. It will help you conditioning yourself in a natural way while you sleep. Isn't that cool? You just listen to it once at night, not many times. It's not necessary. Yes, it can enhance it, but it can make you crazy too, so just don't push it. You will have, during mental shifting practices, always use your judgment. It has to be natural. It has to come naturally. You cannot force it. If you force it and you do it more too often, it can lead to other problems. So please take your time, let it come naturally. Another important thing that you have to know when you mental shift is that you learn to trust your kin type. You are yourself. You're still yourself when you mental shift. You're supposed to be in control of anything you do or anything you think, especially what you do in public, To keep that control and to be able to switch from human to kin type very quickly and inadvertently is vital. It's more important than mental shifting itself. You need to be in control all the time. You will keep your human set and you will still have your kin side set. And both will be balanced in a perfect way. And you will not even notice it when it's done. Other people might even make you notice that they feel something changed in you. But learning to trust your kin side, to know that it's not going to hurt other people or you or pets, that it will not destroy stuff unless you want to destroy stuff, that it will not put you in harmful or stressful situations. It will not. Just trust it. I insist. This is like the key, is to believe, to reach your spirit side, and to trust it, to let go, surrender to it, but without losing control of it. So everything is in a perfect balance. It has to be a perfect balance, and it takes years and time. Mental shifting is a lot of dedication. It's the daily basis exercise you need to do. Now, I understand if you don't have time to do this daily meditation, that you need to relax and take 20 minutes to just meditate, close your eyes and see your kin type side and connect with it. Not everyone is made for that kind of practice, that kind of meditation, but mental shifting can be done in many ways, not just like that. My favorite way is in public, or just in the nature. It is important that you feel comfortable, and if you need to be stimulated to have your kin side triggered, then I suggest do it in public or outside in the nature. If you are more introvert, more stressed or anxious, if you need more peace and silence, then yes, I suggest you to do it inside in the perfect silence or with music. Do not push too hard and do not skip steps. If you go too fast, especially if you want to physical shift in the future, you will have issues, so be careful and just take your time to master M-shift properly before doing anything else. Follow this advice and you will never have issues in the future. Also, don't be too hard on yourself. Mental shifting takes time to progress, but you will or you might not even notice your progress because, like I said, the brain has its way to make things work while you're not aware of it. There's this back of your mind where a lot of things go on and you do filtrate, you use a filter, and all of these subconscious thoughts and feelings, you might not feel them right away, but don't worry and don't be too hard on yourself. You're probably making progress right now and you don't even know about it. You have to be aware, and you need to give love and time to your M-shift practices, and you'll see in the long-term time you will have to make less and less efforts as it's gonna become more and more natural to you. And it is a very beautiful thing when it happens. It's gonna make you so happy, trust me. Spacey dysphoria is a problem for people who have a in general problem with the balance, the need to balance. Species dysphoria happens when your kin type has less time to be free, to be cared for. Like you have a too busy human life and you neglect your kin side, time for your kin side practices or of any type of shifting. Like you neglect your kin side in general because you lack time or you don't want to give time to them. And this is very sad because you're gonna close the gate to yourself. It's you, it's who you are. It's this perfect mixture of human and kin side. You cannot neglect that. It's gonna make you sad, even more depressed than you think. And at some point you will be like, oh, I have species dysphoria and I don't know why. Well, this is it. Don't neglect, because if you neglect your kin side and you just give up on your work, on your daily disciplined work, then you're gonna make that wall come back and become thicker between you and your spirit side. And you don't want that, right? Daily practice, daily love and care for your kin side, and give it time to be free outside, to let it do things you enjoy is the key. It's one of the best keys to mental shifting and physical shifting and other types of shifting. Another thing otherkins and therians need to know when they want to start mental shifting is that there's a way to feel this need for the food cravings. There's a purpose to food, to have a proper, wealthy and balanced diet, especially for otherkins and therians. The trick is to know what your kin type eats the most and make a special diet for yourself to be more in tune with your animal side or kin type side. But you gotta be very careful with it. You still have a human body with its own special needs of special and peculiar nutrients, and it needs a lot of nutrients, as you know now. So if example, if you're a wolf and you eat meat, you want to eat meat all the time, well, meat is not enough for your body. And if you just eat meat for like more than 6 months, yes, your heart can stop. There's a lot of issues with that, and otherkins don't know that most of the time. I had to learn it the hard way, and I have a friend that ate too much meat, especially red meat, and it's very bad for your heart. Do not eat meat more than like once or twice a week, because it can result, especially red meat. Like all the rest, it's fine, but too much red meat for your heart is very bad. So whatever the kin type, especially carnivorous, if you want to eat raw meat, you have to make sure it comes from a place where it's safe to eat, like a place that make them for tartars. Tartars is like a plate. It's a plate with raw food. So you have to be sure with your commerciant, like the person who sells you the raw meat, that it's very, very safe to eat because of the parasites and stuff. Do not eat raw meat that you find in the nature. Do not eat roadkills. Because yeah, I saw that happening. Fuck, man. Do not eat suspicious meat that smells bad, or any kind of rotten food because your kin type eats it, you know. Don't go in the garbage and eat stuff because you're a fox, or a raccoon, or you know what I mean. Be careful, because your human body has its needs, and some things cannot be digested and can even lead to injuries or death or sicknesses, and you don't want that. Trust me, it sucks. So keep your human diet on well balanced, healthy and all, and add your kin side diet like on the top of that, and eat a little more of these things that your kin type eats, and it's gonna help for mental shifting, as long as you don't think like your human body needs any risk. Like I said, one of the consequences you can have while mental shifting is developing reflexes or making sounds without your consent. Like you're gonna make stuff automatically. Some behaviors might appear even in public, and this can be embarrassing for you, so be careful. Keep a low profile and be responsible. Do not go in people's garbage. Do not pee and shit in your yard. Do not threaten humans because you have misanthropy, which is hating humans. Humans, yes, they are like aliens to us, but tell yourself that they're just beings. They have the right to live here and just be happy just as you do. And to them, we are the cringe and aliens ones. So don't forget that stupid thing. And no violence. Be responsible. Some therians and otherkins, they just go around wearing tails and ears and go in public and do quads and attracting attention. It's your own path. It's your own personal path. Other people don't need to know. You don't need accessories. You don't need to seek attention to be a therian trope. You don't need artificial ears and tails because you already have them as phantom limbs. Your astral form already has all of these things. It's your personal life. Not everyone wants to know who you are and what you are. And trust me, they don't give a fuck about it and don't deserve to know. It's a personal thing to you. And it has to be personal. Only shared with people you love and truly trust. And even then, be careful, okay? There are ways to tell that you mental shift and that you are a therian or otherkins. Try to overthink it before talking to somebody about it. Because literally everybody doesn't give a shit. Like most people don't give a shit and will laugh or bully you or judge you or go away from you or your life. So yep, sorry, humans. They don't accept or sometimes are scared of things they don't understand. So just stay away from that and keep things private the most. Keep a low profile, okay? It is very dumb that I have to talk about this and it's pathetic, but some people I knew, they went to neighborhoods and other people and try to get the most attention. They want to tell people, like your own fucking neighbors, that you are transpacy. They don't care. They don't want to know. The less they know, the better. They don't give a fucking shit. You're so fucking cringe to them. They don't want to know. And they're just gonna bully you, and you're gonna make a fool of yourself. If you're lucky enough, the people's gonna stay polite and all, but you know what they think deep inside. Sadly, it is the truth. They don't give a shit, and you're fucking cringe to them, so don't. Well, most of people, not everybody, obviously. Something you have to know is when you mental shift, you're going to develop animal reflexes, sounds, behaviors, ways of thinking that are different than humans, especially if you're an animal kin. But something that comes up, which is very overwhelming for new people who practice mental shifting, is the sensibility. They will develop a huge sensibility to energy in general. They will feel changes of energy in the air. They will feel when somebody is entering the room. They will feel people's emotions, even intentions, and they will feel the slightest change in energy. And when they're really good at it, they will feel the earth under their feet. They will feel it's gonna be magical. You're gonna feel the earth. You're gonna have visions. You're gonna have feelings, images, sounds. You're gonna become basically a psychic, because animals are natural psychics. Animals can even see the astral realms and some dimensions and some spectrals, some ghosts. So yes, when you mental shift, you might experience seeing ghosts and other beings. It can be very scary, so if you're not into that kind of thing, maybe think about it first. When you mental shift, you can it can be scary sometimes, because you can get flashes and visions in your head that you do not expect to come. Some people, they see their animal or kin type faces from up close. Some other people see random stuff like clown faces and scary stuff that pops in their mind. Some people like me experience the vision of the death of an animal, a prey animal, before I kill it in my dream or in my meditation. Like I imagine myself, oh, there's a deer, it looks tasty, like, oh, I have a vision of it being dead and killed by me, because I'm a wolf, and this is what wolves do, and they can see their prey, like they visualize their prey dead in their head, and then they have the drive to go to it and kill it, and that's just natural for us. So this is just an example. But yeah, scary flashes, unexpected flashes and visions, they're gonna happen too. You can experience mental shifting blackouts, especially when you're meditating and falling asleep, or just in general. I had a friend who sometimes got too overwhelmed by mental shifting and blacked out, but these cases are really rare, so do not worry about it. Most people who black out when practicing mental shifting are people are really sitting on the ground or a bed, so it doesn't matter that much. So this is what you expect when you mental shift, mostly, and the things you need to know before practicing any type of mental shift. May it be partial, full, barely there, in public, in private. The next thing you need to do after researching your kin side information and become an expert of it is to make a paper sheet, like kin type sheet. You need to know yourself by heart, which is the human side and the kin side. You can take a sheet of paper or on your computer make 2 columns, like 1 columns with your human traits, your human interests, human feelings, human this and that, environment, and what you hate, what you like, the food you like as a human, and versus the animal side of you, what it likes, what it looks like, what is its name, its species, in which environment does it live, all of these things. You need to make a really, really detailed sheet about yourself and your kin type side. Once you're done with that sheet, and it's very detailed and really makes you feel at ease and very much like yourself, you can set your goals, your mental shifting goals, as talked earlier, which is why you do it, what exactly do you want to achieve, write it on paper, also note down all of your progress, either on a computer or a notepad or a book of shadow like I use. And when at some point in your progress you will notice that there is no more progress, but more like a permanent state of things, then you will have achieved balance. At least the first step of it, the main balance, which is like you don't feel your kin type side as much as when you started, because it has merged with you. So this is what to expect. And when you're at that state, that mind, that step, then you will know that you have progressed. Now, if your goal is to physical shift, then you will have pre-symptoms, which are like your body sending signals, like trying to change, or joint pains, headaches, feeling warm and sweating and stuff like that. These are pre-symptoms of physical shifting. If your goal is to physical shift after that, then these are the clues to look at when you want to know when you're ready. Of course, it is a bit more complicated than that, because mental shifting can take a lot of months or even years to master, but you can do it in a short time period if you practice daily and are really devoted to it, all soul and mind. The time for mental shift mastering is very, very unique to each person, and varies from the time you put into your work and other factors, the time that you have, etc., etc. So good luck with that. Obviously, you will need some guides and methods to follow before even trying your own methods, because you need a reference, you need something to start with. And the video now is too long, so it will have to be in the next video. So stay tuned for the mental shift guides. Have a good day, my friends, and good luck on the shape-shifting path. You can all do it. Believe, 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 and work for it. Go for it. Want it with all your heart. Good evenings.